Have you ever wondered if you handle the situation properly? I know I have. Well, you're welcome to SIP. Here, we say it properly. And we're looking forward to having you on each episode as we learn together how to say it properly. I am MABEL FOLUKE IRUKERA. See you then. Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world or whenever you get to watch this. You're welcome to Say It Properly. My name is MABEL FOLUKE IRUKERA and I'm excited to talk to you today. Well, not talk to you, but we're learning together how to say it properly regarding the whining or the ever-complaining child. But before we get to that, have you subscribed to Byronbee TV? Have you shared? If you haven't, please go ahead. You'll be able to get more of our content and connect with us more often. Okay? So let's get right into it today. Whining, what is that? I'm sure all parents are like, that child that just keeps saying things again and again and again and again. Or a child that just keeps complaining. So whining, I don't think anybody likes whining. And everybody enjoys somebody whining around them. Even adults. Some adults do whine. Let's listen to this conversation. Maybe you'll find your family in it. But it's not fair. Everyone in class is going to the party, said Tola in a whiny tone. Well, you're not everybody, her mother replied. Why do you always say that? My friends think I'm a baby, and now they'll make it worse. Tola, we are not comfortable with sleepovers in the homes of people we do not know. I have only seen Toby's mommy once. I don't know her house. I don't know what kind of family they have. And so I'm not comfortable with you going there for a sleepover. Tola falls into the chair, folds her hands, and her face is contoured into a different shape entirely. Her mom just walks away. Has that happened in your home? Or is it happening right now? We all know about that child that just keeps saying things again and again and again. And even some adults in your life that you talk to, and then it just seems as if they don't even listen before they give you another answer. The important thing to know is that whining is not fun. It's not fun to listen to at all. When somebody is a whiner, the person can actually get the information that they're trying to pass along lost. So how do we do it properly? How do we do this properly? Because it's important to address the issue of whining. Otherwise, you're going to have a child that will grow into, adulthood, and others around them will find them, not sociable because they're always whining about one thing or the other. In order for us to do this properly, you're going to go through different steps. Number one, you must be aware that every child will whine. Every child would whine at some point or the other because it's easy. They're just trying to get the point across. But the degree of whining is what matters, and is what makes a difference. So some would whine, and then over time they'll stop as they get older. Or some would whine right into their teenage years, and some adults, are still whining right now. So that's the one thing you have to know. That's the first thing. And then number two, you must make up your mind as a parent not to give in to the whining. You must make up your mind, rather, as a parent not to give in to the whining. It's important that you know that when the child is saying the same thing again and again, like Tola's mother just said, you're not going for the party. And says, no, I have to go. So 2 minutes later, she comes and says, I just spoke to Obina. Obina is going to be at the party. I just spoke to that. As a parent, it can be tiring. And I'm speaking as a parent because I know that I have fallen victim of getting tired. But the bad part of getting tired? You pay for it. You pay for it. How do you pay for it? Because once you've given into that whining tone, that child consistently begins to use it again and again and again. And then you're not able to establish authority. And as a parent, you must take back authority from that child. And so, please do not give in to the whining. It can be annoying, it can be irritating, and don't get frustrated that you start hitting the child. That doesn't solve anything. That child is not learning. That child is just being hit to keep quiet at that point in time. And then the other part I want us to talk about right now is how do you actually connect with a child that is just whining consistently, going on and on about something. So when a child comes to you and makes the same point again and again and again, you have to tell the child, you know you are whining now. You have to verbally actually acknowledge it so that the child knows, I'm not communicating, I am whining. And when you're whining, it's like there's a sound at the back of the, your parent's ear or the adult's ear or even your friend's ear. All they're hearing is, oh, the words are not going through anymore, which is why it's called whining. Tell that child you are whining. And what does whining mean to a parent? It means, number one, it means that you're being disobedient. I have said you can't go. Yes, bring forth your argument and say, well, I want to go. But once I've said it once or twice, a child, you back off. When you do not back off, tell that child, you look like, it seems to me that you are disobeying me. And that's not what you're supposed to do as a child. That's not what a parent desires. The other part of the whining is that it's for younger children. So when you are dealing with a child from the age of 7 and above, because from the age of 7, that's the age of cognition, when a child understands things well, they might pretend not to, but the truth is that they actually do. So you tell that child, whining is for younger children who are not able to express themselves properly. That always gets the older ones to say, wow, I don't want to sound like that. I don't want to sound like that. So let them know that whining is for the younger children. That's one part. The other thing you can also tell the child is, when you're whining, it almost seems as if you're just hitting me repeatedly. Because all I'm hearing is, and someone just hitting me with something consistently. I'm sure that will get to the child as well. We're just trying to get to the bottom of whining. Then the next point is for us to teach them how to bring their requests politely. Constructively polite. No matter how young they are, it's important to talk to your children in adult tone so that they understand how to communicate. So you say to your child, say, Tola, for instance, I want to go to the party. Tola, can you tell me the reasons why you want to go to the party? And Tola said, if you are whining, you need to state the reasons properly. Because I will have fun. Because I say, yes, but I'm not comfortable because they are staying overnight. So that's your opportunity as a parent to be able to state that again. Like, if it was during the day, maybe I would let you go. But because it's at night and I do not know about this family, I can't let you stay overnight. That's how you teach them to present their case to you. And when you go back and forth like that, the whining begins to decrease because the child begins to understand that when they don't speak in whining tones, they actually get across better. Teach them to do that politely. The other part that is always very, very important too is, after not giving in, is also to be a reasonable parent. At times we say no even before we hear these children out. So are you saying no because you're tired? Are you saying no because you have not thought it through? You have to ask yourself too. Say, I'm just tired, as I just said no. And then you want to go back and turn around. So that child will now think that it's the whining that made you turn around. So no, don't do that. Listen to what that child has to say. And also teach our children. Let's teach our children to ask things at the right time. That's emotional intelligence. We're going to talk about that sometime soon. Emotional intelligence, developing it, helping our children to develop that. But let the child know that there's a time and a place to ask for requests or to make a request like that without whining. That's it. So for instance, if a child is learning this, in order for you to encourage them, to affirm, you can say something like, wow, Tola, I actually said you can't go for the party. We've gone back and forth. And you walked away and said, okay, mommy, I'm so impressed by that. That tells that child that, we have a conversation and I'm making sense at this time. I'm not just whining. I'm beginning to grow up too. That's an affirmation for the child. So don't wait until the child is now grown and say, you have grown up. And that, no, just tell them at that time that, wow, that's just this conversation that we have had. I've seen a change in the way that you talk. I like that. Or you can say, I was thinking about a young lady and I just put her name. I said, Uzo. I said, Uzo, that's a big girl now. You're beginning to listen to what I say without coming back with an answer every single time. Because whining is about rebuttals. Every time before you finish, that child has started again. So you're beginning to tell them that. And the child knows that that's something that they need to. I'm looking at the points that I have here. And I know that generally, You know, people think whining is such a terrible thing. Yes, because it gets to all of us. But I also want to look at the positive part of whining. The typical child that whines is one that is able to come to you consistently and talk about things. That person that can say, I want this, I want this, I want this. If you channel the whining, that flow, if it's properly channeled the way we're talking about right now, that child can become a great communicator. Yeah, the ones that we have that are leading the marketing, organizations, they're the lawyers that are out there because they have the power of oratory. They have the power to convince us. They have the power to make you give them what they desire. So what would you do? Would you just shut that child down, or would you help turn that child from a whiner into that top-notch, marketer, I don't know, whatever other field the child might need the skills? Whining is a flaw, but it can be turned around. I hope you have enjoyed what we have had here today, and I hope that you're able to apply it, because next time we'll have a different topic. I look forward to seeing you then. Once again, remember to subscribe to Byronbee TV so you can get more of our content. We look forward to growing together as we see it properly. Thank you, and see you next time. Have you ever wondered if you handle the situation properly? I know I have. Well, you're welcome to SIP. Here, we say it properly. And we're looking forward to having you on each episode as we learn together how to say it properly. I am MABEL FOLUKE IRUKERA. See you then.